Hello, everybody. Welcome again to Di-RRec. I'm your host, the New Legal, with my glorious panel, my co-partner in crime, TEKNOBLAST in the building, my ace tycoon, Six Slayer, and Xbox extraordinaire.
Where is this?
How you two doing, man?
Good. Just need to do some housework over here. Oh, and I just finished Outriders this morning.
You talk to him? Because I can't hear him.
Yeah. Can you hear me? No?
I hear you. I don't hear him.
Oh, yeah, because he's not talking.
Wait. I got it.
It's always something.
There was some kind of play button in the middle.
It's always something.
It's always something. They don't want us here, but we're here, baby.
I know. It's the.
Oh, we're live already. Oh, snap.
It's the PlayStation gods against us.
Yeah, well, they're not too good at IT, so that was pretty simple to figure out.
Yeah.
Yo, to everybody out there, welcome to Di-RRec Gaming. There's a lot we're going to talk about today. We hear the streets loud and clear, and I got two mics for my panel here. Waiting on the chat to get lit up. We don't care today. We're here to have some fun, and we're going to bomb. I got some TNT over here. Got some gunpowder over here. Got some burrows over here. Six Slayer, what's the deal, baby? What's going on, man?
You know, same as always. You hear news, it broadens your horizons or just confirms what you already thought and believed. And that was the theme of the week for me, man. News dropping that, opens up your eye if you weren't paying attention before. Just receipts and stuff. We'll talk about that, I guess.
Facts. Keep going, brother. Well, what's some of the things you done heard out here in these streets that's kind of like got you blown away, man? That's very fascinating on the end. Like the most fascinating thing that you've heard this week.
Well,
man.
Ironically, it's not fascinating at all, and that's the whole point. Because, like I said before, this whole thing with Sony, obviously we're talking about this Epic versus Apple court battle and all the information that's been coming out because of that to the public eye. Epic is scrambling, to have a lot of that redacted, and a lot of it already is. But
I'm kind of lost in what's going on that. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, okay. Well, long story short, Epic is suing Apple, and I don't even think they really expect to win, or that's even the point. But basically, they're suing them for their monopoly on their app store.
Yeah.
Particularly the way they run it and stuff. Even though it's their app store, they're putting, in all types of rules and things that just really are anti-competitive. But and because of that, a lot of emails and communication between, Epic, Apple, but including the console makers and publishers, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, Sega, whomever, and emails that go back and forth between these guys. We get to see, a look into their mindset, for a lot of us, it's just mostly confirmation. I mean, if you've been paying attention to this industry, a lot of stuff is starting to add up for a lot of people that, in my opinion, like I said before on this whole Sony situation, is just like, if you haven't been paying attention, for example, like the whole, they're always paying for exclusives. This is something we've been known that Sony was doing. We didn't need no receipts to know that was going on. But hey, we have receipts now. So anybody want to act like they didn't? But I mean, I don't even think that was a thing of debate. But it just goes to show how they do it. All the wording that's in that, we already knew. But once again, 3 Deadly Venoms. Hey, what's up, Vodka? I was watching that the other day again. I'm a big fan of all the Shaw Brothers films. So yeah. But basically, because of these emails, we see how they deal with each other and communicate with each other, and for me, once again, confirming a lot of the things that we know about how, for example, Phil Spencer is. what Epic's up to, what Sony's up to, and what they care about, and what they don't care about, and what they really believe, despite what they claim to do in their marketing and their public, announcements. We really got to see a peek inside the industry and how these people really feel and think, and the moves they make. So it was just an eye-opening thing for a lot of people, but for a lot of other people, including myself, I think it's just confirmation of things we already believed and knew from a long, long time.
Yeah, and this just adds on to what we spoke about last time when the whole Capcom and Resident Evil and Sony.
Yes, that's what that was.
Mess. Right. And so we all knew that the parody thing was going on. We just never saw it until these leaks came out, and I guess this is like another part of it. Well, it's a separate issue, but it's kind of like the same thing because it's been talked about. Nobody's really seen it. Nobody's really proven it except for the people that work behind the scenes. And now that it's out, it just confirms what everybody was saying.
Absolutely. Illegal, you there?
I'm here, man. I'm listening. I'm listening. Keep going. I'm having a good time. I have my time to go. I have my time to go. Keep going.
Well, this is your spot right here. I think we said enough. What we think. For now, just tell us what you think, and then we can jump off. From whatever you bring up.
No, man. Listen, y'all. Listen. I'm not falling for the okie doke. All right. I'm a rope a dope this whole situation. All right. We already know about the malpractices of Sony. We already know about how many times they get sued throughout the years, the type of smoke and mirrors they play. We know how they downplay their own audience. They get sued by their fan base. We know how they are not built strong with their infrastructures. We know they have a weak cloud compared to Azure. We understand that they are major in semiconductors. We understand that they love to play the movie cinematic gaudy thrills every year. This year is not going to be their year. We understand that they love to play the console sales situation, which we all know that's been confirmed over and over and over again that console sales don't make neither one of the companies any money. The only one that makes money off the hardware sales of its consoles is Nintendo, because when you think about it, the Switch is more of a handheld device than it is a traditional console.
And that what you just said has been repeated ever since Xbox has come into play. That consoles don't make the profits. They're always at a loss. And people today act like it's the hot new take. Like, oh, did you hear what Microsoft said? Yeah,
right. That's because it's just another way to throw a punchline. It's a weak punchline that really doesn't stand the test of time anymore. And when you're still using that VHS talk, you've already defeated yourself. Like it has no impact. It's like I say. It's like getting into a ring with a 2-year-old and just letting them punch you. It has no effect. So, of course, y'all know how I treat it. I laugh and move on. The situations with PlayStation. Well, let's go back to the consoles. The situation with Xbox noting that it was never about the hardware. You got to go all the way back to its origins when Bill Gates said it. Bill Gates had an interview. I believe it was either 2000 or it was 2000. He said, or it could have been between I wouldn't say right on 2000, but I would say at least leading up between 2000 and 2001. He had an interview, right? And they were talking about what was your plan? What's your plan on getting these consoles to as many people as you can? And Bill Gates was like, if it was up to me, I would give out the consoles for free, because what we're trying to do with this console is not sell the console itself. We don't even care about that. It's the services that we're going to be creating, and nobody understood what he was talking about until Live came. So ever since Microsoft created Xbox, the console, through Seamless Black, the whole point of making money off of the Xbox was through its services. People just, they don't fail to forget. They just don't think. TEKNOBLAST is 6 layer. They just don't think. They keep failing to mention Windows PC gaming, and they want to act like Microsoft has never been in the gaming industry until Xbox.
Now they choose to ignore it. They choose
that's what I'm saying. Right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
They had a little stint with gaming with Windows, but that was a total failure, and they backed out of it, years ago. And now that they got their Windows 10 or Windows 8, and then Windows 10, then they have the infrastructure. They have pretty much the infrastructure to be capable of getting back into gaming, which they are.
Word.
Microsoft is one of the companies that helped the internet excel. So they know all about infrastructure. They know all about services. They know about getting their software into as many devices as they can. This is, like you said, this is Windows. What's Windows? It's a software operating system, right? So the whole point of Windows is getting it into how many, what computers. They don't care. They don't care. It's in every computer system that you can possibly make possible for Windows 10. They want you to use it. That's all that matters to them. So all of that is regurgitated old news. It's not even worth mentioning anymore. Just laugh at it. And so
that's all you can do is just laugh. And like, where you been?
Yeah. Just laugh at them, bro. Just don't even, just laugh at them. You fail when you waste your time with that. You fail when you waste your time with that, because deep in your heart, they already know. That's just their only stance that they can throw out. So that's funny to me if that's your only stance. That's like
there's an old saying. It's like playing chess with a pigeon. All it's gonna do is knock over the pieces, crap all over the board, and dance around like it won.
There you go.
That's like if you break that down, all three things. That's literally what they do.
Right.
They knock around the pieces, meaning they put a lot of FUD out there, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They blur the facts. They've infiltrated, the press. They're not infiltrated, but they've been paid off or whatever it is.
They're undercover.
Right? I don't know what you can call it, but they've gotten their mitts into the press and other things where they control the narrative and the optics. It's not even about the facts. It's about the facts or whatever they say it is. Then they crap all over the board by doing things like blocking crossplay and games being on other platforms, to keep that exclusivity. That ruins the landscape for everybody, except for the bird. That's good for the bird. He relieved himself, and then he'll dance around like he won. Like he ignores all the bad things he did that affected him just as much, maybe even more so, right? And act like he won. But just like we talked last week about the financial reports. The financial reports, show the real truth. They dance around like they won, but I would think they're the biggest losers of all three of the console makers, especially coming off a platform that's got to be at 120 million plus by now.
Stop right there. Excellent. How in the world are you even putting money back into your bank out of your own pocket after selling that many consoles?
Yep.
Tell me. How does that make any sense? Tell me.
It doesn't. But the problem is we're looking at it like something that's supposed to make sense, but that's the whole point. It doesn't make sense. It's not gonna make sense, because they're doing things that benefit them, but it's like they're cutting off their nose to spite their face at the same time, and they don't even realize they're doing it. So
okay, so I hate going back to this, but for some reason this is all in the news, and it's once again because we said this was going to be a catastrophe. So when Bloomberg once again mentioned that there could be possibly 4 million of these things bogus due to the COS, okay?
SOC.
I mean, I'm sorry. The SOC.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Bro. The COS. That's classic. Yo, that's a man. Yo, the new legal just made up a part, right?
Yeah.
Just
Sound like
made
a radio
one up.
station. It's not like a radio station.
It's all messed up around here.
Ah.
The SOC. Exactly.
It's Saturday.
Once that happened, and they revealed the plan. They revealed the plan, right? Because they had some people to go over there, some representatives to go over there. They was in the warehouse, they were saying, and they were checking out the product, right? And you know, they're talking. So Bloomberg is saying that there could be a possible problem. And that it wouldn't be wise for Sony to put the console out 2020, you know, at least put it out late 2021 or early 2022. Now, the reason why I keep saying this is because it's like beating a dead horse, because I'm hoping that somebody takes a chance, comes over here on Di-RRec Gaming and actually learns something, because nobody is telling you this stuff. You go around, and everybody wants to jump around and play the likes and subscriber game. But that's where this place is not that popular on.
Yeah.
We are for the gamers, and we are for actually letting you know that these things could possibly be the true reasons, even though we may not be here. But the evidence is right here. Because look what's happening, people. Okay? When Bloomberg put the dates out there, but now look what's happening. So today, last 2 days, there's been an issue. Okay? And I want you to be careful about these articles talking for Sony. This should be a no-no now too. And remember, I've made a change in my life as a gamer. You can think of me as a fanboy. You can think of me as a PlayStation hater. I can take all of those jabs, okay? But here's the thing. You don't have to accept truth. You can run around and you can play dumb, you know? Even possums play dead, but they don't play dumb. So you can play dumb and think that's cool all you want to in life, but it's really not cool. We don't like to play dumb here. So, you know, we understand that there could be a possibility that these articles just want to hype y'all up. And this is for the sake of my PlayStation gamers, because I know some that are cool as hell. I know some I have no issues with. I talk to them. We talk gaming and stuff. All right. So they want you to feel like, oh, PlayStation is about to make this brand new console, and it's going to be more powerful, 6 nanometers and all of this stuff. But what y'all ain't understanding. And that sounds all good and stuff. That sounds cool and everything. But Sony, once again, did not co-engineer their console fully RDNA 2.
And then we keep saying throughout these shows that we've had that it's a Frankenstein.
Right.
It's a Frankenstein abomination, and somewhere down the line, it's going to be causing issues. And look where we are now today.
Look where we're at today, Tech. That's all I'm saying. You can shoot all the volts in it you want to. You can make it come alive if you want to. Sooner or later, the body parts fall off because it's a dead corpse. It's a zombie console, okay? It's a zombie console, all right? We tried to tell y'all a year before this even happened, but because we're students of the game and we actually dig into some stuff and find some stuff early on our own, we don't just wait on articles or wait on, because a lot of the articles that you get, they're even repeating stuff. They're repeating stuff. That's why in their articles, they tell you where they found this at. You click that and it'll take you to the original source. This has been going on for years and years and years, people. So, I mean, at some point, we got to stop acting as if, you know, we're just clueless on how all this stuff works. All right. Then, of course, you'll have the buddy articles shouting out people's names for heaven's sakes. Like, that matters. Like, we're not here for shout outs. We don't care.
I see that all the time.
Yeah, we don't care
Terrible.
that you clout chasing or you know, hey man, just make the article, give us the news, and move on. But we get it. We get it.
The funny thing, they don't use real sources. They use a guy that's off of YouTube.
They'll use that too.
Or they use a person that's on a forum. You know, I think people know the names of those popular forums.
Facts.
As their source, as their main source. And it's like, what? It's like, why don't you just go straight to the company and get your facts straight?
Facts.
Instead of hearing it by some jerk off in some forum and say, yeah, I got the entire news. Check this out. And they then run with it.
Facts. Because here's the thing. And I get that. I get it. Okay. I get that that's a part of our culture. And I understand all of that. Like, but when you're looking for truths, you always have to go to the source. That's the problem. When you don't go to the source, you're not getting the truth. Okay. So we're hearing now that Sony wants to redesign, right? And will enter production in 2022. That's enter production. That's not that the console will come out in 2022. That's just entering production. That's saying, okay, we got everything we need and we want to start making a console. Reports, claims, not Sony claims, but report claims. All right. So supply chain sources say redesigned console will feature a new semi-customized 6nm CPU from AMD. So you're going to have a 6nm CPU, but what about your GPU? Nobody's saying anything about that. All right, so that's cool.
Well, I'll break that down. So
no, I didn't even want to go. Okay, go ahead. I already know about the latency effect. So you're going to put a higher CPU.
Well,
they're going to balance out. I get it.
Well, what it is see. Okay, first off,
but sick. This is what I want to. This is where I'm going to. That sounds all good and all, but when have you ever heard of something brand new being cheap?
Right.
Go ahead, sick.
Right. So okay. So there's a lot of things that need to be explained. So first off, TSMC, Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing, I think something like that, right? The big manufacturer of chips. In fact, they're ahead of Intel in what they call their process node. This is where you get the 7nm, 10nm number you hear all the time. The smaller the number is, that's the distance between the transistors. And because of that, the smaller they are, the more you can put, and the less power they need to do the same thing. And the smaller the nanometers you get, and you can put more transistors, and that's how you get more powerful chips and whatnot over time, right? TSMC is the leader right now. Intel has had some issues with their process. This is what allows AMD to catch up. Well, that's half of what it is, because AMD also put in work into new designs, and they're using this newer process node. So that, in combination with that, and plus Intel having a tough time of their own, has allowed AMD to be very competitive. So when you see these chips, okay, TSMC has a process for 7nm. That's what they used on the PlayStation 5 and both the new Xboxes, right? This is what they use on all the new AMD cards. Okay, NVIDIA is using Samsung.
Yeah, how much are those AMD cards?
Oh, just as much as any NVIDIA. Well, slightly less than NVIDIA cards, but depending on the model. But
how much?
Hundreds of dollars. Over $1,000. Depending on the model you get, right? Same with NVIDIA. TSMC is also the ones making the chips for Apple. TSMC is already on 5nm for Apple. There's talk of 3, right? And if you notice, I've only mentioned the odd numbers: 7, 5, 3, 10, and well, actually I said 10. That's an even number. But the reason for that is the Xbox and the PlayStation are on 7nm. TSMC's 7nm is very, very good. Their yields, meaning the amount of chips that they produce that's working out of a batch, is very high. It's like in the 90s somewhere, right? You don't always get that out of a process node. Now, over time, you improve it. Even if it's low, you can improve it unless it's really bad and things like that. This is some of what Intel is dealing with, like I was alluding to. But the 7 nanometer is very, 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 very good. Okay, it's in the high 90s. Apple uses it. Everybody is competing to get to get their chips made by them, right? As a waiting list. So now, if the chips or if the process node by TSMC that was using the PlayStation and the Xbox is so great, why is the PlayStation chips low yields? Because we heard about this from Bloomberg before the systems came out, that they're reducing, not that they're reducing, but they're not going to have as many systems available day one because a lot of the chips are failing. The chips didn't fail. It's because they decided to overclock them past their original design. So that 9.2 or whatever it was, right? That's what they designed the chip to be at. They're doing this overclocking to try to make up some of the gap between the PlayStation and the Series X. So they're overclocking it, and a large chunk of these chips aren't passing the test to run overclock like that all the time, because the CPU and the GPU are all on one chip. That's why they call it a system on a chip, right? And this is why I had to interrupt you, because you kind of sounded like you were saying like the GPU is improving, but not the CPU. That's not what's happening at all. This is why I was mentioning about the odd numbers.
No, I was just saying I understand the fact that they go with a higher CPU and may not be a higher GPU, because it will equalize each other out. That's what I was saying.
Right. But what's going on is they're not making a better system in terms of more powerful or anything like that. What they're doing is,
well, I don't know, Sick, because the show that I saw, Sony Can Do No Wrong, that guy told me it's like smashing two PlayStations together and making one big, powerful PlayStation.
Well, they're not. That's more of the PS Pro, because they took the GPU and they kind of doubled it. That was the PS4 Pro. We're talking about the PS5 now, people. So y'all need to keep up what's going on. That's why I'm speaking so slowly.
I need to talk to that guy from Sony Can Do No Wrong. I'll see what's up with him, man, because he's like he's throwing all kind of crazy information out there.
Well, it sounds real crazy to me. So, anyways, like I said about all these odd numbers, and if you heard the word is that Sony is going to 6 nanometer. I didn't even know that TSMC had that or not, and I didn't look it up. So let's just say it's real, because who knows? This could all be fake, right? But let's say it's real. 6 nanometer. That would be in between 5 and 7, correct? Usually when they have these in-between nodes, it's to fix if a certain node wasn't as good as they were hoping. So if 7 nanometer wasn't as good, they make, in this case 6, which is like a 7 nanometer plus. Like if you notice Intel, when they put 28 nanometers plus or 14 nanometer plus, what they were saying was they took the 14 and they improved on it. So now it's like a 14.1 or a 14.2, and they kept doing that because for a long time they were stuck at 14. They just got to 10, but it's their 10 is like equal to TSMC 7. It's a whole thing. But long story short, so if the 6 really exists, what it really is an improvement on the 7. And in this case, I would imagine that they want to use it because it will increase the yields on the chips. The chips will be able to withstand more heat, and they'll be slightly smaller transistors, so they produce less heat. So this is all in the sake is to have a chip that can run properly in the PS5 and not overheat. Because if you notice, Returnal, the developer said this is for something for Sony to fix, not on them. All these crashes are implying to me that these chips are overheating and the system is shutting down, and that's why the games is crashing.
So it's not because there's a shortage of these chips and less production out there and less units out for people to buy. It's more because their current chip is a complete failure.
Yes, and here's the capper. Why is the ultimate proof? 6 nanometer is going to cost more than 7 nanometer.
Okay, so it goes back. What 6 Slayer did was he went all the way around the world just to say this. Bloomberg was correct about the chips getting messed up.
Yep.
The real problem is that they were using cheap aftermarket parts. They were putting together good pieces with bad pieces, which is like mixing good wine with bad wine. You don't do that.
Bad cooling, all of that.
Okay, this is why you got consoles out here with 2 different fans. Who the heck does that? Your parts aren't even the same. Okay, this is facts.
Not consistent at all.
No.
This is not once again about bashing the PlayStation or to get your fit. You know what the problem is with a lot of you PlayStation fans? Your feelings are too invested. Sony knows that your feelings are way too invested. So it's hard for y'all to truly learn anything because when somebody is telling you the truth, you get carried away with your emotions and you never learn anything. This is why y'all are
I'm being
like
messy with
right now.
Okay. Don't be talking about my PlayStation like that.
This is why you're looking like idiots right now because just like when I put out, tell me something that's next generation about your consoles, we get crickets. When people dare you to let somebody know you know what you're talking about, you don't speak. But when it comes to Xbox doing something great or something, you want to come out and bash it.
Well, they bash every little detail of
exactly.
it.
It
has quick resume. Nobody needs that.
Facts.
But doing faster load times, which is the same thing. Okay.
Exactly. But here's the thing. You're talking about something that you don't even experience. So how do you know it's not good? You talk, we don't need it. You ain't never experienced. You don't have it on your PlayStation 5. So how are you gonna say something isn't good or not? Your console can't even do 1440p. Look, here's what I'm trying to say. At some point, the PlayStation community has to wake up and realize that Sony is just playing them. And when something doesn't go right to a catastrophic degree, Sony has to do a full circle cartwheel and start all over again. That's exactly right. Here's the thing. Vodka's correct. The stress of making numbers. Hear me out. The stress of making numbers, because you got to understand, they got to go by those hardware sales because they don't have a great software service line like Microsoft does. So they got to put the stress on their hardware sales. They make hardware predictions. And like he said, their projection was 7.6 million by the end of last year. They missed that by about 2.2 million because they sold like maybe 5.4. All I know is this, regardless of the numbers, forget all the numbers, right? The fact that came out was that Microsoft could be about 1 million behind PlayStation 5. Now, note, Xbox never told anybody their projection. Xbox doesn't tell their numbers, okay? So once again, you have rabbits coming out of a hole just saying anything. Anytime you hear any article mention the console sales of an Xbox console, that's an automatic lie because they don't know. Microsoft doesn't release those numbers. Period.
Yep.
We have to stop acting like, oh, somebody just told me. No, that's the hype to get your clickbaiting butt to click that button.
Yeah, that goes back to what I was saying.
Reading a lie.
They always want to go to some random supposedly source.
Yeah, he's the insider. He knows everything.
He knows everything.
What I'm trying to say is that generates excitement, and I get that. You got to see what I'm saying? Like the gaming media journalists are not here to tell truths. All right, they're told what to say. They're told what to type. You think this is freedom of the press where they're just typing up stuff and they don't have to go and approve it? Who does that? Even news anchors and news articles and professional, outlets have to report back to what they get, and then they edit stuff out. That's why you don't ever get everything. They edit this stuff out. They're not. It's more interesting if I can get you excited than to tell you the truth, okay? Because if they were to tell the truth, this would have probably stopped long time ago. But you got the poachers, right? the poachers come in, killing off the PlayStation 5 by scalping them and raising, jacking up the prices. Notice that wasn't such of an epidemic with Microsoft. Notice, because Microsoft doesn't run off a hype. They don't run off a hype. And in that case, they did get scalped. Don't get me wrong. They both got hit by it. But notice that it's not big news coming out of Microsoft's camp. Why? Because Microsoft is not elaborating on that issue as much. They're not bringing that as a focus to their attention because you know why? They have something called Game Pass that was created way before this generation started. So Game Pass is the news of Xbox. You see? And you don't have to have an Xbox One S or an you don't have to have an Xbox Series S or an Xbox Series X to use Game Pass. That's the beautiful thing about it. So what you really starting to see, people, is two types of companies, okay? One company that gets prepared, which is wise. Anybody that's trying to go somewhere always gets prepared. And then you have a company that's more like a procrastinator, sits around and waits around. It's an old tale called The Ant and the Grasshopper, okay? It's just timeless stuff. One is going to get prepared. The other one is going to play around. So when, like I said, this is the reason why you don't hear nothing from Mark Cerny, because Mark Cerny has nothing else to tell you.
He's been dead quiet since his TED Talk. He's been
quiet since last year.
Yeah.
He's been quiet because he has nothing to tell them. He knows that this console was messed up. We had to just get it out here because it's the image of us. What would it look like? We just sold 113 million consoles and we can't put a console out when Microsoft puts it out. How are we going to look? So the way Sony looked at it was, hey, look, we'll put it out here because we don't want to look bad and we'll deal with the consequences. That's exactly what happened. Okay? So now, but look, we even understand that, right, guys? Right, everybody in the chat and all the listeners? We get that. But here's my problem. I have to keep going back to this so we can always move forward. You can't deny what happened. It's on Twitter. Bloomberg called them. Well, when I say call them out, I'm not calling them out like shots fired, but called out a situation.
Yeah,
but
they just
what did Sony do?
That they heard. That's it. They had a scoop. That's
right.
all. Not personal.
Correct. What did Sony do, though? They went directly on Twitter and lied. So my only thing is,
it's true.
You're telling everybody that you're okay. It's kind of like what Destin said. You're okay with a company lying to you. You're cool with a company doing malpractices. You're cool, and I'm gonna let Tech and Sick go on this one when I'm done. We're about to hit this subject, and we're gonna keep going. You're cool with a company denying crossplay, paying devs extra for going that route, as long as they're dealing with them. You're cool with all of this, but yet you want to talk about somebody else's console. This is where it's starting to become hypocritical. This is why Sony now has to do backflips, because now things got way out of hand, okay? Way out of hand to the point now they're like, damn, you know, we can't even play this off anymore. They can't. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. They're not selling their consoles. They got to get over 14 million. That means they're going to take another loss this year. They're going to take another loss because they're not going to get that 14 million.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'll be a loss.
There's 2 years. That's right. So there's 2 years. There's 2 years of not meeting expectations. 2 years. You see what I'm saying? 2 years.
So sad.
And the problem is this. They never took the time to do anything correct. How do we know? Because history has repeated itself. When they got hacked and they lied about all this stuff trying to cover up, and then they probed them, and they come to find out that you guys have been playing on outdated services, an outdated platform. Outdated. Outdated was the word. Then you wonder why you got hacked. And then it doesn't even make sense, right? Because who leaves their house unlocked? Who leaves their cars in their car with their doors unlocked?
Oh, it's worse than that. Who leaves it unlocked when the thieves are outside like, yo, your stuff is unlocked. Hello. That's literally what happened.
That's literally what happened because you did it online. Correct. This is why.
And they told them
hey, Sonny, you left your door unlocked. Oh, wait, hold on. You left the door open.
Facts, you left it open. Yeah, that's even worse.
Yo, Sonny, where are you going? You left your door. Oh, he's gone.
Open.
He's gone. He just left. All right, guys.
I guess he's not gonna need this stuff. I'll take it.
Let's go in there.
Facts. That's that, and we get it. Like I keep saying, we get this. That, oh, but that's my favorite console, and I'm so emotionally tied to it. Get it. But the funny part, the irony of it all is that Sony PlayStation fans have the word to use the word fanboy. You guys define it more than anybody. You live it. This isn't something that you name call. Fanboyism is in your culture. You and fanboyism is one. You live it and you show it better than any other platform.
Yeah.
PlayStation platform is the definition of fanboyism. It's the definition of it. And y'all are the personification of it. Because nobody in their right mind, like Destin said it.
It's like fancy.
Nobody in their right mind acts the way y'all do. Nobody. How can you say Game Pass is bad for gamers? What kind of gamer says something like that?
That's so stupid.
This is what I'm talking about. We understand how to, the beautiful thing about it. Shout out to Dirk Griggly. Everybody and anybody else out there with a YouTube channel, like Tech and them, that comes up in here. Shout outs to them. Shout out to the chat room. I know I haven't been calling out the names, but shout out to all of y'all. Who in the world, right, talks or thinks like that as a gamer? Nobody in their right mind believes in their heart of hearts, in their soul, that being able to play more games for cheap prices is a bad thing. Who thinks like that? And y'all ran with it for so many months that it got so pathetic that the gaming media even had to start knocking y'all down about it and had to start talking about it. That's pretty pathetic. That's pretty pathetic. You know what I'm saying? And all we're trying to do is tell y'all how to take a win and how to take a loss. See, we over here understood our losses. We talk about it all the time. We tell y'all all the time, yo, that last generation was a butt whooping. And like the last video I made, no, it wasn't based off of how many of us right here demanded better. Stop lying, because it's in our past. Nobody back in 2013 was hitting up Microsoft telling them what they need to do better, because we didn't even understand the plan. We were confused with the DRM just like everybody else was. So stop playing. We got too many people out here that won't tell the truth.
Yeah.
The problem is the ones with
people like me.
It's
people like me that should get credit because I kept ragging on them, so I get credit.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We have to be able to, even people like T Reaper, all through these years, laughed at. I've seen this post. You think people just post on Twitter? No. Twitter ain't the only social platform where you can tweet stuff.
Yeah, you got OnlyFans.
And it's crazy. We've been saying, we understood. If you was a true Xbox fan, last generation was rough for you. Everybody knows.
Okay.
And we know they kicked us when we were down.
Let me stop you there.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I ask this? explain to me how it kicked our butt. Is it just by the numbers?
They kicked our butts for
because
one.
I think I had a great, fantastic time with last generation console and the games. I don't think I missed out on anything, even though I had a PS4. I don't think I missed out on anything.
It's not about your enjoyment or whatnot, because I feel the same as you. I feel the same as you. But see, like I said before, it's the perception and the facts are two different things. And something doesn't have to be true in this world, it seems, right? To be how it's taken. So Sony sold at least 120 million PlayStation 4s, right? It's probably more than that by now, right?
Yeah.
They sold a lot of games. They ran the discourse, just like with the 360 generation. The Wii technically won that, but we all know it was really the 360 that ran it the whole time. If you had to pick an unofficial winner, it's that. But none of these labels matter. But what it does is it controls the mindset as for what platform you put your game on, what platform you market with, what you do this, what you do that. And people who don't know, who aren't in the gaming, and all they hear is that this platform is winning over the other, that's what seems to make it who's the winner, even though it really doesn't matter. It's really just how people see it it's hard. It's hard to put myself into somebody's shoes that are not engaged into the gaming industry like we are. Because I would say, sure, okay, you can say Sony won all generation all you want. That didn't take away my enjoyment of what I experienced on Xbox.
All right, here's what I'm going to put to that. Exactly. And that's left field, right? Because that's the bottom line. But here's the concrete facts on the matter, right? We can't act like Xbox wasn't in trouble in 2014. Right. Phil Spencer let that be known last year. So the rumor about Xbox could have possibly been gone and Sony fans attacking us saying Xbox ain't making no money. Well, now they have something they can hold on to and say, well, yeah, y'all almost died off. They got that. All right. They can say that now because it's been confirmed.
And they can say that all they want, but it didn't.
Exactly. But that's another thing. That it
doesn't have to be true for people to run with it like it's real. Yeah.
Right. I'm not going on the result facts or anything. Yeah. I'm talking about when we ignore, I'm going to bring an example. When we ignore evidence is why the gaming community is like it is today. When he brought up the 360, right? That was one of the biggest lies that ever came out of that generation was PlayStation 3 ended up outselling the Xbox 360. You see what I'm saying? And when them articles started coming out like that, people ran with it. Now, the ignorant ran with it and try to make that the Bible, right? But other people was like, no, that ain't what happened. The 360 actually won that generation. Now, how do we know this? Okay? How do we know this? Because we go by when the next generation begins, the other generation stops. You don't keep carrying over numbers from the last generation just because you're caught in your feelings. See, this is what I was saying. When I say Xbox dropped the ball last generation, Tech, that's what I'm talking about. Xbox had a moment where they could have seized everything, and everything. What we're feeling today is 7 years old. Could have already been eliminated, right? Because they allow nonsense. And I'm talking about the gaming community. And it was only the reason why they allowed it because a lot of the originators began around 2012, 2013. The folks that you're following today, that's how they blew up. And they blew up, majority blew up bashing Xbox. Because why? When you're thinking about making money, you got to be smart. Most of the fan base on social media is PlayStation fans. Xbox people are gaming. They're not on social media like PlayStation fans are. They're not on YouTube. Look at YouTube. They're three times as larger than we are on YouTube. There's almost 13 million of them. There's only like 4 million of us.
With what you're saying right now, it was funny because I was streaming Outriders last night, And I got this one cat who came into the stream and just started chatting with me, right? I rarely get anybody who really chats with me during the stream. And he was saying pretty much the same thing. It's like, dude, I see so many PlayStation channels, but all they do is bash Xbox all day long.
Look, you know how I know you're telling the truth? Because a couple of the good folks that play PlayStation, right, have already admitted it on Twitter. And that they're tired of it. They're like, look, it's only a slim group of. I was on one post where a dude even shout out like a true PlayStation fan. He was like, go check his show out because he actually talks PlayStation community talks and actually games and stuff. Like most of the other ones do, all they do is bash Xbox. They got Xbox in their mouth more than we do.
Now, could they say the same thing about us, but the opposite?
Nope. Because the majority of Xbox people that got YouTubes that are known, look at them. Look what they talk about. They generally talk about some news, which to me is getting boring. They playing games, doing broadcasting, or they're in tune with the community. They're not bashing. They're not making hate videos on PlayStation. Go check it out. Not the vast majority. That's why you haven't heard nobody say it. Yeah, man, everybody we go to, they're just bashing it. If it was so, it would have already been said. But the problem is the truths. We're lacking the truths. So we carry on a bunch of the lies because, yeah, they're fun, they're cool. We use these to get at people. And then we get to trolling people. We done got to where we're a trolling community, to where it done got so crazy. It's done got out of hand. That's exactly right there. And you know what? I said it. This is why when I say I've said things, nobody can take it away from me because it's locked on the internet. All people got to do is go and take their time. I'm not going to do it. Go on my Twitter post and just start scrolling back. You're going to see where I made a headlines and said they're all going to fail you this generation. They're all going to fail you this generation because I'm a student of the game. I know how the media works. They're only going with what's popular. What's
I got a perfect example of that. Yo, folks is talking about this dude who used to work at 343, some Asian guy. I think he's Chinese. In fact, I think he's back in China now, or maybe it was the whole time. But the press ran with this whole narrative completely opposite of what he was saying about Halo Infinite. There's a video on it. I retweeted it, but most of y'all don't know what the dude said. Really was, he said a lot of positive things about it, and then he mentioned some talk about this possibly crunch, which was an opinion, nothing negative, right? And the press ran with this. This dude has had panic attacks and all types of stuff because people out there lying in the press. They twisted up his words and what he really said. And what he really originally said has been there.
This is facts.
Written clearly the whole time. But the press always with their headlines. And not just the press too, because there's also people on Twitter and whatnot twisting the truth so you don't know what it really was. Making somebody who should be a hero, or at least somebody who's just saying honest truth as far as he see it for people to know, right? And they twisted his words to say something that they want to know.
That's it, because it's right. Just like now, when I said watch out, because here they go talking about 6 nanometers, and they're talking about, oh, Sony's gonna redo a whole new console. Who told you that? Because see, that's what you want. See, Xbox is doing so well that you and see, here it goes, y'all. Catch the inside job. You have to look between the lines, analyze, be strategic. What they're really saying is Xbox won. What they're really saying is Xbox made the better console. It hurts them that bad to say it. Destin didn't hurt that bad to say it. See, people like him, we should be holding up now. This guy came right out of IG.
Pause real quick on that. Not that I disagree or anything, but also we should add Why is it all of a sudden now he's speaking so
Because we know
openly?
that. Because the answer is easy.
Right.
Like
No.
I said, he
was there.
worked, like
He still
I
works at
said,
IGN.
he worked for IGN. You don't have freedom of press.
But
You
he
have
still
to be
works
told
there at
what to say.
IGN. It's
You have
even
told
deeper.
it's too easy. That's too easy. But now he's alone. He can say what he wants. He can be that advocate. And what's up, Sick? What's in your heart? My thing is this, Sick.
I gotta tell you, because
my thing is this, Sick. I don't care what. Here's my thing. Because I'm not deep into that. All right, I've never been deep into medias and the journalists. Never was. Don't care. I only know Destin just a little bit. I ain't watch IGN and them, bro. I ain't with that history, IG4 and all that.
Right? That is important to note is that no, he actually still works at IGN. I think what happened is, and this is to your point, actually.
Right.
Why is he so open to say this stuff so openly now and it wasn't before? And if you notice, there's certain people who have left IGN in recent times.
There you go.
Now he's able to say things.
It's exactly this. I mean, say out to the cut. But you're right. Look, he got away from the strings. Or even if, okay, let's just give Sick benefit of the doubt. And I'm not even going to give you benefit of the doubt, Sick. Let's say it is what it is. Let's just say that now it's just too obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I think I'm going to go with Sick now. I think because that would be going against what I posted, right? So how should I do that? I'm going to go. You're right, Sick. Well, legal, do you not listen to yourself? You are exactly right, sir. So let's just say this. It's so evident now that Xbox is unfadable in any direction. So that goes back to what I said, right? There will come a time where wherever you look, wherever you go, and they mention gaming, they're going to have to mention Xbox. Write that in stone for the new legal. I've always been true. I ain't never told a lie. Always been true. And look now. So I'm going to stick with Sick. So look now. Now we got Destin, who all of a sudden now is telling it like it is. You got to question that when Destin wasn't like that. Now, Destin wasn't the type of guy who played into a lot of the antics. I'm not saying it. He wasn't
he didn't.
Shaggy, what's his name? Ron McAfee.
Yeah.
He wasn't like that, like the streets will call Shaggy. He didn't play into that guy, but he was on the panel. He was a little bit more conservative, Destin was. So what Destin is doing now, you can kind of see it. Okay, you can kind of go with it. Now, if Ron McAfee was acting like Destiny, then Six Slayer, we got a problem.
Yeah.
We're like, yo, what, But so I think that they're smarter than the average bear, right? I'm riding with Sick on this because the game and media is a bigger business than we think. It's all about swaying to your emotions, people. And when you're not emotional, you look like this. You look like us three or anybody else out there that's like us. This is what you look like when you stand on the principles of gaming. This is why I said we have to get back to where we can hold a conversation no matter what platform, because that's the way it used to be. It's not about bashing each other because we play on different consoles. It's about recognizing which one is better in the times that it's in. That's the true console war. It's accepting which one has done what it was said it was going to do. But the problem is PlayStation fans don't want to accept it. They think every console generation, they got to be on top. Oh, and they were making the best games. Well, now that's not happening. And reality is setting in. And the problem, the truth, to be honest with everybody here today, the problem isn't Xbox fans. The problem isn't Nintendo fans or Stadia fans. The problem isn't Microsoft PC, Windows 10. The problem isn't Steam, Valve. The problem ain't handhelds. Okay? The problem is that PlayStation is not living up to its capabilities. This generation is finally starting to realize that. So now you have all these excuses except for accepting the truth, because now it's here. So you know what? Let's even go to dude. Let's go to him. What's his name? Because I don't. Let me see what his name is. What was his name? I might have to go one more over. Let me see. Give me 1 second. We're gonna get to him. Where was it? Okay, here we go. Let's see. Yep, here it is. What's his name?
Lynn?
No, dang gummit. The guy from Sony who made a comment, and like you said, once they make that comment, they run with it. But he
Jim
never
Ryan?
said. I'm trying to find it.
Jim Ryan?
I'm trying to find it.
Oh.
It's crazy. Yeah, here it is. I found it. Yep, got it. Here's his name. Let me see. Let me get to him. There's a quote. We're gonna get with the quote. Where is it? I had it. Oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna get this because I want the name. I'm going after the name.
Can you give me a hint of? Or he works at Sony.
Hitaki? Wasn't that his name? Hitoko?
What does he do? Shuhei?
I don't know. He made a comment. Does the chat know what I'm talking about? I'm
Okay,
trying.
but what comment did he make?
My panel's getting quiet. I don't want them to get quiet.
What comment did he make? I'm like,
he talking about the may have to, redesign the console.
I didn't know if any official word was ever mentioned by him.
They got a name, and they took it. I'm gonna find it because I'm not too far.
I don't think Yoshida's. Yeah, not really.
I'm gonna find it. Give me 1 second. I thought that was it. Dang.
Because all of this was reports and stuff. It was nothing ever.
They got them. Dude, I have it. I have it. I'm gonna find it, man. I was looking at it in the beginning. I went back and started looking at something else. Now I got away from it, but I'm gonna find it. And I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna read it, so you don't even have to worry about it. I'm gonna read it. Let's see. This might be it. Hold on. Oh, shoot. That's not. Let's see.
All right. So while he's waiting, I finished.
Yep, got it right here.
Oh, now you want to talk? Nah, this is
I know. Yeah.
Here it is. All right. It was from the WCCFtech.com, right? We know that. So, as Serkan Toto highlighted, if I'm saying his name right, with all due respect when we're saying people's names, DigiTimes has a spotty track record, okay? So we should take this new report on PlayStation 5 redesign with a grain of salt. You see, we're teaching. Sony has also released hardware revisions, okay? See, they released revisions. That goes back to what Sick was saying. They're not saying that they're going to redesign a more powerful console, but in preschool terms, just a console that's going to work for you.
Yeah,
because your console now doesn't work.
Version is what I've been asking for.
Right, now watch this. Sony has also released hardware revisions for pretty much all of its consoles. Now listen to that. It says all of its consoles. Now, why would it be revisions for all of its consoles?
That means both for the digital and the non-digital.
Listen to tech. Listen to tech right there. See that mystery? You got to pay attention to what's being told. You can't just read, look, meditate, and ponder what you're reading, because that's it, tech. There's issues with the one with the disc and the one that don't have the disc.
Because they're the same thing. It's just one is missing the drive. It's the same board and everything. That's it.
I love the streets. Love it. Now here it goes. And Sony CFO Hiroki Totoki did recently reveal that the company was possibly looking into changing the console's design to increase production. There is a chance that DigiTimes report is correct, because now they actually had somebody to say something. Now, of course, it's huge. So look, if I have to go off a 99.9% prophecy guess, I'm going to say PlayStation 5 Slim. Oh, look, it looks cuter, it looks better.
No,
It's
it won't even be a slim. It won't even be a slim. It'll be like just before they had the elites, right?
Right.
They were making fixed versions of the 360.
That's true.
Without the HDMI. But it was the same shell, but the insides were different. I'll give you a better example. The PS2. You know how many revisions internally of the PS2 exists, but externally was the same? And I mean externally, like it had the FireWire and the 2 USBs, because eventually they took out the FireWire and kept the USBs. And that's an external thing you could see the difference of, right? But even those versions without the FireWire were a legion. It was like between 18 to 24, or possibly, I'm not sure exactly, revisions of the PS2. They would always change up the internals, you know, with different model drives and cheaper RAM and parts that are cheaper. Because like I said before, when I was talking about the whole nanometer thing, technology improves over time, and they would swap out parts, you know, if a certain manufacturer doesn't make a part anymore and they make a better version, or a competitor makes a better part for cheaper or whatever, or equal quality, you know, and they will change multiple parts, and you know, and piece by piece they get that cost down for them, because they're selling these consoles at a loss, as we always knew. But if you question that, you could see it in the financial report, because I know a lot of people trying to fraud that maybe Sony was making money off these PlayStations, you know. So that's key to remember, that this is about making a PlayStation that works and doesn't overheat, more than to make a better version or even a slim. Because yeah, it'll be 6 nanometer, and that's more efficient and should use less power. But is it going to be smaller? No, because you're not going to reduce the size to make more gains, because it'll only put you right back where you started. The console is so big, the cooling system is so inefficient already. They would have to redesign it fully. And I'm not saying it won't be smaller, but don't think all of a sudden now, because the chip is smaller and make less heat, they just make a smaller system, because then you're just eating up, you know, the advantages that you made for yourself by going with this more efficient chip. So they have to redesign the cooling and everything. So it'll look different, I guess. But even if it doesn't, that's because they want to keep that consistent. But it'll be, you know, like we've been saying, it's just a better working version of the PlayStation. But everybody who doesn't have one of those is going to feel that FOMO, is going to definitely fear that fear of missing out, that you bought too early and now you have a dud. Now you got to trade it in and do all this malarkey. Like, I'm hoping, for the sake of everybody, that externally, just by the look of it, it's a different system, and you'll know, because I don't think anybody should get that original model.
So
this is why I don't have a PS5 now.
So going back to what you just said, the people who bought the first ones or the current ones, and how they're gonna feel. Did you say FOMO?
Yeah, FOMO, fear of missing out.
Okay.
Yeah, FOMO. Yeah,
yeah, that's true. That's like, okay, I'm not cool like that, so I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah.
All right,
fear of missing out. So a lot of people are gonna want to, you know, trade in, and so there'll be a lot of trade-ins of the old PS or the now current PS5, right? So, like, yeah, hopefully this redesign or whatever looks different externally.
Well,
you know,
there's
just on site.
a lot of the fan base is taking it like, hey, it's going to be a lot more powerful now compared to what it is today.
Of course, because they want that.
They want that
narrative.
Where in reality, it's fixing the broken shit that's happening right now, and making it work, like it should have been on day one,
the whole time. Yep.
Yeah,
that's all this is.
That's all it is, man. That's all it is. So now that we got that out of the way, beautiful, y'all, and that was perfect.
Yeah,
right at an hour, man. Look at that, perfect. So what's up with the Halo hate, y'all?
Oh, well, like I said before, I put the video in the chat about this guy who was on.
Yeah. Supposedly, right? This guy. Here we go again with the article.
Here's another guy.
Right, but once again, and we've been trained by this. You already see even your first couple words, but I already mentioned. It seems like this guy's on the up and up, but the press twisted his words to seem like some kind of way. So the Xbox guys just see it as, oh, this is another guy who worked there. He's a disgruntled worker and blah, blah, blah. He never said anything like that.
Right.
It doesn't even seem like he was fired. His purpose was served and he was done.
Yeah, he's done.
Game development works like that. You know, he's under contract. You have contract for a time.
Yeah, he's part of the project. He's completed his part. He's done. He's got to go.
He's out. He may not even have.
I'm so glad. You know, y'all, man, keep going. Just keep going.
His function was probably served, and that was it. And now he said some stuff. And you know, see, the whole point of like when people like this come out and they say stuff like,
and I hate that. Let me step in. I hate that because you know, that person may have worked on a very small part of the game, right? And that's it.
Part, who knows?
And then see the whole picture, what it is, but then comes out and says whatever he's going to say to some gaming site or person because he worked there, you know?
But like none of that.
Yeah, it's like you didn't direct the game. You know, you're not the one being the project manager here.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, see, that's not even what happened, but it's happened so many other times in the past. Everybody automatically assumed the press ran with that. People, the same old people who want to twist the truth. They spun into this whole situation, but it wasn't any of those things. This was a guy, probably, his function was served, the contract was over, and he posted some stuff on Billy about his experience there. But actually, if you read what he had to say, it was all pretty much positive. He said, the only thing that could even be misconstrued as, and because this is a word out there that has the optic as a negative thing, and it can be and it can't be, and that's crunch, right? And
like the cereal.
But even then, like, he didn't even write any of the stuff he said in English. It was in his native language, which I believe to be Chinese. So it wasn't even translated right or whatever.
It's Mandarin, sir. Okay.
Mandarin. But there's Mandarin and there's and what's the other one? Cantonese.
Yeah.
Okay, so he must be from the north versus the south, and therefore it's Mandarin. But anyway, like it was translated and probably inaccurately, but like I said, I posted the video in the chat for people to see. Yo, once again, the press, they took it and they ran with that football, and all of us fell for it. All of us fell for it because we've seen it time and time again. See, the whole logic is supposed to be because he worked there. He's privy to knowledge that we don't have, because at least he could say he worked there. And under that authority, he's saying what he's saying. Right. But as you said, we don't know what he did, how much he saw. Yeah. Right. So, but let's not be salty ourselves and like start attacking this guy, because that's what happened and that's what they wanted.
That's like me. I worked at the IT department of an HVAC shop, but I know everything about HVAC.
Yeah. Right.
Like, no, I don't.
You don't know anything about HVAC.
I want to say something to Mud Kip 96. He's dead on. Let me tell y'all something. Dead on.
Yes.
I'm gonna let that one breathe for a minute. Because now Microsoft has switched a mode about itself. It's gonna make you pay for making fun of it. When you look at the situations that's been going on, we've had hundreds and thousands of our native citizens dead due to a pandemic virus. We've had people who could no longer work at their studios being safe, and they've had to work projects out of their own homes. We've had shows that had to be given across streaming services and YouTube channels and outlets from Switch and all those outlets, right? And the gaming community still has been able to get its games out due to hard work and resilience. The ones who've been able to not understand that and haven't taken that lightly will pay. Microsoft and them can't naturally put their hands on you. It's a company and they got to be professional people. So they can't slap you around or punch in your mouth. you know, they're not like that. They're professionals. Okay. So they're gonna get you by their genius ways. And the very first one that they got you with was Craig. You know what's funny about Craig is going to be famous. And that's going to be the sad part, because you made fun of people during a crucial time during their job when it really wasn't their fault. They were doing the best they could do with what they had. This is exactly why Halo Infinite has been done. And Microsoft said, nah, you know what? We're giving it a whole year. We're going to polish it up. You haven't heard anything different from that. That's because that's exactly what's going on. So I don't pay attention to the articles. They already told us what was going on. Okay. Y'all saw the pictures of those Spartans. Y'all saw the pictures of those new weapons. We seen them. So we can, like I said, so you can play dumb if you want to and act like you didn't see those glorious pics. All right. Or we can keep assuming, oh, the game is broken. And if Halo doesn't raise the dead, then it's a failure. Keep on thinking that. All right. And Craig is going to be famous. Why do you think when they saw that those memes came out with the refrigerator? Now,
guaranteed there's going to be some kind of achievement when you get them.
Now look what happened. A mini fridge exists.
Mm-hmm.
Because of your hate, you're making Xbox great. Because of your hate, you're fueling those devs to prove a point. You better hope that game is anything but great. Hope that it's not.
Increasingly unlikely, isn't it?
But that's right. But I'm gonna tell you like this, straight up. I'm telling you right now. That's gonna be the biggest game of this year. Remember what they said Halo was. But Halo is Xbox. Xbox is Halo. That game, like no other game in gaming history, single-handedly sold units, console units. Okay, there you haven't met another game in gaming history that has done that. That was such a big deal. You talk about exclusive content. Oh, want to get an exclusive game? Halo and Halo 2 was such a big deal that Xbox is here today just off of those two. Just off of those two. Just off of those two. And you tell me any other back-to-back sequel games that you know of that a console still exists today just off of those two. Don't even make us laugh. You think that the 20th anniversary, why do you think that's even getting downplayed? And you know what's sad? You don't even see the big wigs anywhere with the influence, even celebrating the fact that this is the 20th year of Xbox. See what I'm saying? And you wonder why our community is like it is. When people don't follow, this is what it looks like. If I followed, the 20th year anniversary excitement wouldn't be coming out of my mouth. I'd be just like everybody else, just ding-donging away. You have all the necessities to be excited about, and you're not, because it's basically who you're following. Who you're following rather just keep you in tune on what the industry is doing. But when has the industry ever been us? We're already seeing that it's cool to make a review and you ain't even finished the game. When has that ever been law?
Why are you yelling at me?
When has that ever been law? When have these things ever been law in our community?
I played the first chapter. Now I got a review to make.
Right. But you know what? What you just said, if you said that, that's validated. Say it. Hey, listen, I've only put in 10 hours of this game, and thus far, this is my take. See what I'm saying? That's a real review. But to tell me you play 2 hours of a game, the game is 25 hours long, and you're giving me a review off of the 2 hours you played? Come on, community. And we sit up here and you throw up Metacritic scores?
I saw the intro. I give it a 10.
Right. based off of the trailer, 10 out of 10. Like, no. And and I'm speaking on this behalf off of a PlayStation fan. Because he was right. It didn't matter where he came from. It was because he was right. Dre was right when he said that. He was like, well, this is just getting silly. It is. Because we as a gaming community, we have separated our integrity with one another. We've gotten so caught up into what the gaming media says and what all these outlets say that we don't say. But we have two examples, like I say, of video games where we said something, and look at them today. Look at Sea of Thieves today. Look at Forza Horizon 4 today. Look at Minecraft today. You can't get people off those games.
Hell no, man. My two kids yesterday were playing with another friend of theirs in my kids' room, man. They're just all playing together.
Facts. They ain't caring about what media had to say. They're not caring about anything. You know what? How many of them guys that you go to running their mouths, giving you news every day, right? How many of them beat Minecraft dungeons?
The ones that read articles to you, like to bed.
I'm serious.
Let me read you an article.
Dungeons. That's what I'm saying. When are we gonna celebrate our 20th year? When? We're gonna do it this fall? When? Microsoft just threw us over 100-some games that we can play at 120 frames per second. Yes, everybody doesn't have 120 frames per second or Hertz TV. I get it.
Okay. And see, you snapped at me on that one the other day when you were going solo on your show. And what I was trying to ask, see, my monitor is capped at 60 hertz. Okay. And if a game got boosted to 120, will it still be up to 60 to that game? Or is it
still... ain't got nothing to do with your monitor. Your monitor specs. That's your monitor specs.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
Input might be better.
And that's
you
what
might feel the input lag might be
right.
better.
So that's what I was trying to understand. It's like, even though they boosted it to 120 and my monitor is 60, is the game capped at 60 because of my monitor?
Yeah.
See, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Exactly. That's like, okay, Tech, that's just like my car goes 120 on the dash, right?
Yeah.
I put my engine in a Porsche. How fast is that Porsche gonna go, Tech?
Man, it's gonna go super fast. No, I asked this
120 in the dash because
I was a little confused because when I was trying to enable the games that have the boost, the toggle switch was off, like grayed out. I couldn't turn it on.
Yeah, you couldn't. In certain conditions for certain games, they already have 60 hertz or whatever. So it'll be grayed out. It depends on game and how they did. But like, let's say Battlefield 4, it was always 60, but it was never a lock 60. But I guarantee. Well, actually, see, that's a bad example because that game ran lock 60 on the 1X. Let me give a better example. Game X. Who cares what the game is? It didn't run lock 60 before or 60 at all. It didn't run 60 at all. It ran 30. Now it runs 60 for you, even though they've got support for up to 120.
Right.
You'll probably just get 60. And internally,
but you won't see the boost badge though, right?
You may or may not. It depends on the game situation. Because like I said, this is why I got off the example of Battlefield, because that was a game that always was 60 but never could hit lock 60. But it probably was just fixed off the muscle of the 1X. But now that they have 120, it's not going to be. It won't be on for you. It'll be grayed out, but the game is already running maxed out for you. This is why I want to get off that as a bad example. But just whatever game that wasn't 60 before they add 120, it'll run for 60 for you. And it's possible even internally, it's really running 120 and is dropping it down, and you might feel the input lag be better and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you'll feel it anyway, but even more so. You'll just have to try and see.
Right. It goes back to what I've been hammering for about 2 years now. You have to start investing, right? We have to start investing. Look, Emmanuel once said, Hisense is dropping a brand new A7G 4K 120 hertz TV, only $700. I'm getting that or the new TCL that's pretty affordable. Now, listen, most people will sit up here, make fun of him. You know, oh, look at him.
I had a TCL. Love that TV.
I have one too. I had that P series that came out, but he was talking about, look, the Hisense and the TCL. Oh, look at him. How he can't afford. First of all, stay out of a man's pocket. 1, 2, he's buying a TV that meets the requirements. So I mean, when you're in a budget, when he's doing what he does, he sees what's best for him. The key is to get to 120 hertz, 4K. Nothing wrong with neither one of those TVs mentioning those, Emmanuel. But I don't get into people's pockets. Me personally, I'm probably going to try to go and get me an OLED this time because I'm just curious. But it's going to be kind of hard for my second TV not to be at least one of those, just because, you know. Or I might get a monitor. I want to do something different. Tech knows I might be trying to get a monitor.
Yeah, and computer monitors are plentiful when it comes to FreeSync and particularly 120 hertz, but particularly FreeSync because that's in the name. Free, real like base computer monitors, and people are putting shade on even that concept. I'm like, what? These monitors, man? Yo, don't get it twisted from people who's trying to downplay and then say, oh, I spent this much on blah blah blah. I got the LG C10, okay? And before that, I had the TCL. And like I said a moment ago, I love that TV. It's just I got a C10 now. I didn't need it, okay? It replaced it. But that TCL did great. The only TV that could compete with it was a Samsung.
At that time, I remember that.
$400 more, and the only thing it really had better over it was the variable refresh for $400 more. Everything else was equal or better on the TCL.
That's true. And it came up with the 60 hertz update. It went from it boosted up to where the TV could hold 60 frames per second. It actually
and it had that auto low latency mode.
It did. Game mode kicked in, all of that. Facts.
So
these are facts.
Yep. So a lot of people who try to shade don't got your pockets ain't watching your pockets. All right. Don't have
you do what you do.
There's a lot of people out there who's perpetrated.
Well, I'll tell you this, and this is just me right here. Okay, I have a 75-inch Samsung. You would think that I'll be gaming on that one all the time because of just the sheer size of being 75-inch, a 75-inch 4K. Okay, I game more on my 4K 60 gaming monitor than I do on my TV because it looks better. And you know those display requirements that you look in your Xbox? I have it all checked out to green except for the one that says 120 because I'm capped at 60. Right?
Yeah.
I get better enjoyment and much more detail on my 27 game monitor than I do on my TV. Because it has higher resolution, higher frame rates than my TV. Now, Killer's saying my TV's trash. At the time I bought it, it wasn't trash. Maybe now it is today's standards. Maybe it is trash, but it's 75-inch, and I'm not going to get rid of a 75-inch TV right now. My Xbox One X is it's being played there. Still looks great.
You got something. I'm glad you answered that.
Trash?
Huh?
Who said
Killer? Well, I guess he said
Samsung.
Trash. Samsung. He said Samsung R.
Whatever, man.
And so
he has a validated reason. I agree with him to an extent.
Yeah,
I actually do. I'm not getting another Samsung TV.
And so for me,
no Dolby Vision.
I'm not planning to buy another TV because in my household, it's easier for me just to purchase a monitor and just sit it on my desk than try to explain to my wife why I bought another 80-inch TV. You know?
Right.
And her up my ass saying, hey, why did you get another TV? You know, we don't need one. I'm like, oh, well, you know.
Okay, look, I want to get in tune with some of the chat because the chat are making some good comments. Now, look, going to what Emmanuel, I heard you, Killer Tone. Thank you, because that C1, I've been hearing about that or the C10, you know, either one. I'm checking them out, man. I'm digging them out. We're gonna see. I'm gonna see I'll let y'all know doing unboxing and all that stuff when I make that decision. But I want to do something different. That's pretty much where I'm at. Emmanuel, I hear you, man. I hear you, dog. Like he says, I'd rather get a 700 120 hertz LCD TV and then the Vizio 900 Elevate Dolby Atmos soundbar rather than just get an LG C1 for $1,800. Hey, listen, beautiful. You see this? Look,
or get the C10 for like $1,400. You know, like there you go.
It's not really facts. What I'm trying to do is I'm glad that the chat are in here are making some good points. They're helping out on people. And this is what gamers do. This is what I'm talking about right here. Y'all are making me proud, man, that I'm associated with y'all because this is what real gamers do. This is how we talk. All right. Nobody's wrong. Get what you want. But we're going to give you some alternatives. This is what I would do. Oh, this is what I would do. You get what I'm saying? And then you give people enough choices to make and they make their decision. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to damn people's pockets. We're not going to say, oh, that's garbage for you. Oh, and I wouldn't buy this. Well, no, buy it. Nobody's talking about you.
But don't sit and complain about the price when you do nothing about it either. Like
facts.
Like, you know, if you have a problem with the price of something, well, go out there and work for that money. Okay. There's certain people who have said that, and I can't really, and he got a lot of flack for that. That I can't really not. If you want something, you go out in there and you work for it. Ain't nothing free in this life. You get in this life what you put into it.
Right.
Okay, you get out of this life, you put into it.
Don't let them sell you nits only, bro. It's an OLED. There's things around that.
Yeah.
Like the nit thing right now is a selling point.
Yeah.
Don't get too caught up in the nit. This is exactly why the TVs you said exactly.
As someone with an OLED, I could tell you it
isn't right.
It's not the be all end all.
It's not.
It is not.
Oh, exactly. Because there's too many factors. All right. We're not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But just put it like this. Understand. I'm just gonna say this. Understand the lighting and the texture of your house when it comes to that. When you're choosing your TV monitor. You know, because please, if you go out here and you buy you something and your house is a certain way, or so much light get into it or something, it's not going to do you justice.
Right.
It won't matter what the specs are. So get the right TV for your house and what your house is presenting from the outside in, or you'll have to basically customize.
And then have a budget for how much you want to spend, and then you look in that range. And if there's and if you see something that's maybe $100, $200 more than what you planned for, but it gives you way more than $200 worth of improvement over other models that you were looking that were within the range, you should consider that too. There's options,
right.
There's a balance between what you get and how much you pay, and just do your homework. And there are many people like myself and others in this community who have no problems, helping you out if you need help. Like, I'm not the only one out there, but if you want to message me, you're free to do so. You'll hear from me as soon as I'm available. And there are many other people like that in this community who are very knowledgeable. So if you don't know, ain't no reason to stay ignorant. Just ask questions. That's all.
Right. No, HDR is its own self, Emmanuel. It's a color gamut. The HDR doesn't, put it like this. It does illuminate off of nits, okay? But you have to understand how screens work. Each screen design works. Like OLED works differently from LCD. Mini LEDs work. They all work differently, and they all use their technology differently. The beautiful thing about HDR is that it can fit your accommodation. So you got to understand, there's things that OLED does that all other TVs just cannot do. So it doesn't need all of that extra hype and bells and whistles because it's already there. The reason why you hear all these higher nits on the other TVs is because they need that in order to compete with the OLED. But look, and I'm not, and this is facts, right? Not putting people that don't have OLED TV down because I don't have one yet, right? But at the same time, I'm not saying that OLED isn't premier because it is. It is the premier TV of TVs. Now we go down, okay? Then we got to go with the mini LED technology, and then the QLEDs, and then the Ultra 4Ks and all of that. There's dimensions to this stuff, all right? But getting a good TV isn't what we're trying to say is getting a good TV for gaming is not necessarily a very expensive TV that you have to get in order to experience great gaming. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. But going back to Halo Infinite, it's going to be the biggest game of the year, y'all.
Yeah.
Simply because it's getting the most hate. And Microsoft right now.
And it's just one of those games that comes out every 4 or 5 years.
Facts. And Microsoft right now is feeding off your hate. The more bad press it gets for this game, the more it's going to hurt in the end.
Just like the Astros, man. The more hate they get, the more wins they get.
Do you think Microsoft is going to premiere this game, Tech and Sick, at E3 without having us going ooh and all? You think they're going to repeat? This is silly.
They're going to put their elbows into it this time. It's not even, please.
Yeah, it's listen, you look, I'm not trying to tell anybody to be like me, all right? But here's what I do. I'll be honest. I read articles and I laugh. It's comedy. It's good reads, okay? It's like it's not even reading a serious comic book. It's like reading it ain't even Dr. Seuss. You don't even learn from it. It's just a source of entertainment. It's like when I read articles, it's like I'm looking at a digital what you call it? God dang it.
Digital Foundry?
No, stop it, man.
You said digital.
I know when I said it's like reading. It's like reading a digital. What do you call those things, man? Not soap operas, but reality show. Reality show.
Oh, okay.
All right. I don't take reality shows seriously. I don't take these articles seriously. All right. The only time I take them seriously is when they are confirming what a company has said. Until that point, it's just for the entertainment. It's for the clickbait.
Garbage.
All right. And they have a company to run. So I understand that. So I don't get mad at them. I understand they need clicks. Pay the bills. I get it. So I'm not over there for that. I'll wait till you actually got something and then I'll go over there. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll look at you.
It's the dummies who run with them, like, oh, you see,
right?
Oh, you see,
and
you see what this said? IGN said,
right.
Because they said it is true,
right? But that's where we have to come as a community and say, look, man, you gotta stop running with that. You know what I'm saying? This is that. They don't have this and they don't have that, and eventually, man, it doesn't become the cool thing. You teach your community, and then they start beginning to wait around for the facts and the truths, and then they throw it out there. But we have to do that. You can't leave that up to them because they got a company to run. You see what I'm saying? Like, people think that they're going to change.
I know what you're saying, Legal.
They're not changing for us. They gonna get paid by us. Somebody else is cutting their check. So that's why they do things. Microsoft said that they're going to be hush-hush on all this other stuff that don't matter, that doesn't make the money. Just like you remember when they came out and they said, listen, we sell a loss on all their consoles. What they do, they try to run with it. And then Microsoft had to come back the very next day. But you know what? We make money off our services. See how stupid it was? Like, they took that and started running with it. They don't make no money. Like, what? Right. Like, if they don't make no money, then how's Game Pass selling? It's stupid. We get it. We get it.
They're still stuck in their old times of the business model.
Because they don't have no because
they've been running the same excuses for so many years. Like, they've been laughing and attacking people over the same points, but the industry has changed and they changed without them. And they don't even see it, and they got left behind
running it anymore. And the truth is about that is They only are doing what their company gives them. Look, they're not changing because Sony isn't giving them anything differently. If Sony was to give them something differently and stick to it, like Microsoft, look, let's okay, real time, real moment right here. Look how long it took for the Xbox community to finally stop using console sales as a battle. Does anybody think when Phil Spencer came out and taught us what it was all about with that? Do you think all of a sudden we just immediately stopped saying it?
Well, we didn't. You know what? Really, like, okay, this is just me. I never even know it was a thing until like way later into the generation. Like, the sales.
Right. We didn't
what?
ever talk about it exactly. I know.
It's like, what? It's like,
I know.
What does it matter? It's like, I'm still playing. I'm still buying games.
Right. And you know what? I can't stand people that think that consoles can't die. Look, man, they die. It may not happen all the time, but it's a possibility. All right? Sony knows they can't keep going the way they're going. All right? We told y'all that. Okay, if you think Sony, look, this is what I want to tell y'all.
Okay, hold on. You know, there's a lot of Xbox versus PlayStation talk, all the time, and that's what we're used to. And now I'm looking at the chat here, and there's battle between QLED
and OLED. Yeah, like some people are in certain camps. They don't, they hear about the burning potential. Like, everything.
Okay, but listen,
by the way, is different brightness.
But listen, but here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about that. That only validates the beauty of our culture. Like I've been saying, all this fanboy talk, all that has never hit my heart. It's a punchline for somebody else's weakness. Like I've been saying ever since I've been on Twitter, I embrace it all. The only things I don't embrace is toxicity and threats. I don't go along with none of that. Everything else, let's roll the dice. Because we're not going to say one thing isn't cool when we do things the other way, just like right now. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me that we can't be fans of something. Don't tell me that when we do this stuff all the time. All the time. We're doing it right now with the TVs. And I'm not getting mad. Like I told people, the whole point of that wasn't to say that anybody's wrong. The point is just understanding the levels of the quality, accepting that. See, there you go. Accept the truth of the levels of the quality, and then by the size of your pocket or the size of your bank, you make the best decision on what you get and move on. Nobody should tell another person, oh, you got the most garbage TV. If they're meeting the next generation specifications, if they're meeting it.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
care what they got.
And that's the point I definitely want to add on. Like, listen, no matter what brand or whatever you choose in the end, I think this is the only part that's going to be objective, because everything else is subjective based on what you think on the following. And that is have a list of features you want that you don't break rank on, right? If you want G-Sync, FreeSync, 120 hertz, Dolby Vision, whatever those features are, right? Make that a list. And if they don't conform to that list, then they ain't down. Then it becomes subjective. Now it's your opinion over which of the remaining you're going to decide from. That's where your opinion comes in. But from the beginning, choose what you feel you need, but also don't discount in your mind certain features because you think of price or whatever and pigeonhole yourself in a certain situation because you are excusing certain features or certain aspects as something you need or don't need. Be objective about that first. That's the part where you got to be robotically militant about when you're picking features. Then afterwards, you can sit there and debate on how you feel, how much money you got, and your personal opinions on it.
I got 10
things. That's the best way to choose.
And no matter what. Look, when you're going for tech, understand it's going to cost a little bit more. When you're going for the quality of tech, that's just what it is, y'all. It's just what it is.
Have realistic expectations for how
I got $10.
Run it,
that's what it is.
What you plan to do with it, where you plan to have it, after it served that purpose, maybe you'll downgrade it to be in the kids' room or whatever.
Taco Bell.
It's important that you think about these things, because otherwise you're gonna feel some kind of way when the next model comes out. You think to yourself, "Oh, I should have waited," or you got that promo again. Think about it.
I always say this, man. You're gonna lose out in the waiting game because you're gonna always end up waiting.
There you go, right there. This is why you see people, when I was gravitating to OLED, was saying, "Yo, get the C10, you're good." $1,400, you're good, because there's not much more technology that's going to matter right now for this generation.
That's exactly what I bought.
Here's my bit. Okay, you want to hear my 2 cents on it? Here it is.
No.
Get the TV that's required for the generation at hand. That's it.
Yep.
And you're good to go. If you want to future-proof something, it might cost a little bit more, but get what's required, and that's it. And if it takes waiting a little while for the price to drop, then do that and then get it. But like Tech, you nailed it. The more you keep waiting, the more Tech improves, which the price won't drop. You're constantly, I can't afford. Yeah, because damn, Tech ain't dropping when it's new.
Right.
Yeah.
So get what you get.
Amigo, the new model's coming out next month. All right. So you're waiting again.
Right.
Yeah.
You get it at 3,500, man. It's too high for me.
The next one's coming out in 4
months.
I'm
going to give you a perfect example of that. I'm going to give you a perfect example of exactly what you're talking about there. So like I said, I bought the C10, but the C9, they added in software late into its life a feature that I was militant about, that I put a line in the sand. That was G-Sync, right? But it came out so late in the life, I'm like, CS.
You could have had it, but now
I could have had it. I may as well just wait. And when the C10 came out, I got it with no. So you want to wait because you want certain things in that list, like I said. But once that comes, now you have to act. Don't sit and say, "Oh, I want to wait for this." No. You already made that line in the sand with these features. Do not,
because these are software updates, y'all. They will upgrade. So that's the key. Understanding the upgrade feature now. We're not stuck like we were back in the day where, you had to actually go buy another TV in order to get that new feature. Now this stuff comes in by way of updates now, y'all.
Your mom goes to college.
And Halo will be the biggest game of 2020. Yep. This is the 20th anniversary of Xbox.
Yep.
The 20th.
Yep.
All right? You got something to be excited about.
Yep.
Microsoft isn't going to spill all their beans in the first quarter of the year. Who does that? We know that E3's coming, and then we know Gamescom is coming, and then we know the fall is coming, which by then, traditionally Microsoft is going to drop something. We know they're going to give us something this summer. We know we got these great third-party games. Like I'm still waiting on Tunic, and I'm still waiting on Biomutant. I'm going to be playing those games. All right? I'm going to be playing them. I'm waiting.
Crossfire X is what I'm waiting on.
I'm not going to play Halo Infinite on old tech. That's not going to happen. I don't care if I got to go blindside tackle the old rich lady on the street. Snatch her purse up. I'm getting that money. I want to be where I need to be.
Now you're just giving black people a bad name.
all jokes aside, but I want to experience that game in new tech. I don't want to experience that in old tech. That's the 20th anniversary. That doesn't even exist in my mind, trying to play that game in old tech. I'm not hearing that, but I'm not going to knock anybody that does. I'm speaking for myself.
That's right. My CRT TV.
You see what I'm saying? Because
people like those for a reason nowadays.
Right, because I want to be one of those to tell you just how great that game is. You see what I'm saying? I want to be one of those people to tell you that. So I'm not in a hurry. I'm chilling. I'm looking at my options. I'm kind of already know where I'm going, but I'm still looking at my options because you never know. And then I'm making my decision. But I'm making my decision based off of Halo Infinite this year. When I see that release date, that's going to help me out. When I start seeing more stuff come out, that's going to help me out. But to sit here and think that Halo Infinite in 2021 isn't going to be a big deal is ludicrous, man. You're not losing it. You've lost it. That would be just like me saying The Last of Us 2 wasn't going to be graphically touched on. It was just going to come out plain Jane on the PlayStation Pro. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
That's how whack that is. Like, Halo is the embodiment of Xbox. You fell for the trap. You can think what you want to think, but I already said it. Y'all fell for the okie doke. Microsoft needed that press. Y'all aren't seeing it. They are using the hype against the hype.
Don't believe the hype.
Throw it out there. Talk about it. Because you know what? You're marketing for us. And then right when you're wrong, we're going to throw something out that corrects it. And then we're going to have everybody talking about what's corrected. And when what's corrected is going to stay, you're no longer going to think about Craig. Like, we don't think about Craig anymore because Craig's been corrected. See what I'm saying? We don't even think about him no more. Nobody even uses him anymore. You see how quick he died off? But he's coming back 100,000 times better. And Craig is going to have that last say so. And guess what? When Halo blows up globally again, because Microsoft did all the right steps this time, they released the Xbox worldwide. They didn't release it in 12 regions here and 8 here. And that was another problem with last generation. They didn't release it worldwide.
Right.
Microsoft is doing better now because it's worldwide release and it's getting that coverage like it's supposed to. Now you see what happens when we even out the playing field, when everybody comes out like they're supposed to. Look, Microsoft had it together. The only thing that Microsoft is late on was their dev kit. But why would they be late on their dev kit? Because they're the truest next generational consoles out there. That's why.
It's the only one.
That's facts. It's the only one. That's confirmed by AMD. You're not going to get around that. That's why these articles now are trying to baffle y'all. And look, you can love the PlayStation 5. That's not why we're talking like we're talking. We're just saying, realize what you got and don't come out here saying that it's better than Xbox. Stop it. Just be like, look, man, I'm all right with my PlayStation not being better than Xbox, but I enjoy the games that I play. You know what? We can have a conversation. All right, blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
Hey, the blah, blah, blah to you, sir.
You know, but to not accept truths has never been the way in gaming history. It's not, man. We accept truths. When Nintendo didn't want to put blood in and all they had was sweat coming off their dudes, we accepted that truth. When Sega made the first 6-button controller, we accepted that truth. You know, it didn't stop people from still buying Nintendo. Just don't come to school talking about you got the best version of Street Fighter. Stop it. See what I'm saying? Like, stop it. You don't. Stop it. You get what I'm saying? Like, knock it off. Because I remember Sega never compromised gameplay. Nintendo would over graphics. That was it. Sega rather have the gameplay than the graphics. Nintendo would have the graphics over the gameplay. So my thing was this. Every true gamer knows what the law is. True gameplay always over graphics. Because why? Graphics is a bonus. Graphics doesn't guarantee fun. It's a bonus. When Pac-Man came out, Pac-Man was fun. It wasn't a graphical sensation. Think about it. It was fun. All those games that came out on Atari were dot peep things. Dot. But they were fun. Right. No one, that's what it was. So by law, we know that gameplay is the number one thing. Even PC heads say this. That was their way of but this what gets me.
Well, that's why they spend $3,000 on a card and play like Super Meat Boy.
Right. There you go.
Well, come on. See, but this is right there. That sounds like some fanboy from the other side. Don't do that. Come on.
Right. I'm gonna make a point here. The ones that we
sounds like Six, the one that does that, huh?
Nope.
The real PC heads, you don't really hear about them.
No, you don't.
Because they're doing it, and they're doing it big, and they have the $3,000, $4,000 rig, and they got everything put together, and they're putting in that work, and you don't see them. You really don't see them because, and the truth be told, because it's not a lot of them. Okay, so they don't really rep their community. The majority of the community, even to this day, is still 1080p, 60 frames per second community.
Mhm.
So they're even under us right now. That's why I don't even pay attention to the PC community right now. Then you got the ones who are the claimers, right? Oh, but I rather prefer this and I rather prefer that. They are like the neutrals of the console people. Just shut up. The only reason you're saying that is because you don't have the best. That's why you say that. So don't rep what you don't have and then try to make it seem like you got the better experience. Like, don't do that, because we're not dumb. Just like you know how dumb that was is when they were trying to ridicule the Xbox Series X for being $499. And I was like, well, yo, it's a 4K 120 frames per second beast. That makes sense. You can't go out here and buy a PC for $499 and get that. So you know what they would say? Well, I get this and I get that. And then I would say, but you left out one integral piece to your claim. What's that? Your monitor.
What's that?
You get what I'm saying? The monitor tells everything. It don't matter what you got if you don't have that monitor to back it up. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Facts. Doesn't matter. Yep. Facts. That's why we would always say it's kind of funny when these PC guys come up on Twitter and never show anything. Like, if I had a PC and that bad boy was over $3,000, y'all would never, ever have to question my gameplay. I'm sending you clips on a daily. I'm rolling. I'm laughing. Whoa, look at me. Oh, look at what I'm putting in. Oh, look at we don't even get that out of them. So you think I'm going to take y'all seriously? You got, like you would say, us peasants out here putting up gaming clips on a regular. The Xbox community show gaming on a regular. That's nothing with us.
I woke up and I had a controller in my hand already.
Facts. So I mean, y'all don't even make the PC. You don't even appeal to me. You don't even know how to advertise it to even make me want to get a PC gaming rig. You don't do it.
Look at my keyboard.
So I don't care. It's like when you represent. That's why I felt bad when people couldn't get the X, but they were getting the S. And it was like, yo, and that was the genius part about Microsoft, right? Kind of goes back to what Tech said. I still have a 1080p TV, perfect.
Yep.
But you want to know something, Tech?
What do I know?
The beautiful thing about that is the quality of what the S brings to the table, right?
Yeah.
Now understand, you can. The beautiful thing about that is you can upgrade to a 4K TV now, even with the S, and still be Gucci, right?
Check this, man. We have 4 big TVs.
Right.
Okay. The big one I just mentioned, the 75-inch that goes into my media room, the newest TVs always come to my media room first, right? Then the one that was in the medium gets dumbed down to the living room or the kids area, right? The one in the kids area right now is a 55-inch Samsung that I got back in like 2008, and it still looks good. And it's 1080, right? The 1080p still looks fantastic. Pictures bright, clear, and crisp because it just works great. It was a good product back then, and it still is today. And then the one downstairs, I have a more recent TV. It's a 4K, and it's just for like viewing TV. It's not for gaming or anything like that. And so my Series S will sometimes be, connected to the 1080 that I have upstairs. That's, from 2009 or 2008, sometime during that time, and still looks fantastic because of the Series S.
All right, y'all. Well, you know what? Covered up a lot of things. We covered a lot of things. Thank y'all for giving us another chance to do what we do what we enjoy. Thanks to all the viewers. Thanks to the chat. Thanks for the Xbox Live community for keeping Di-RRec Gaming on its feet and giving us support and letting us grow the way we're growing. Thanks for supporting my man TEKNOBLAST as he continues to build on his channel as well. Thanks to Six Slayer for always hitting me up, always fired up, and he's passionate, man. The guy's just passionate. Has been hitting me up, won't let me do a show, and he ain't in there, and it's good. And Sensei, you on your way too. Got to get you in. Thank you, Sensei, for always.
Six like, give me the link,
bro. Facts. Sick be demanding, bro. But that's good because Sick represents the streets. He represents the chat. And like I've always said, this platform was built off of that. Sick is just motivating. Hey, look, anybody else want to get in? Get in.
Sick.
Sensei is next. Hopefully we'll get him in. There's a couple more cats I want to get in that I've been knowing for years. I want to do a little shockers, but I'm doing this for memories, y'all. I'm doing this because how great the Xbox community is. I'm doing this for the people who may not have a platform. This is what we do. I come out here and we talk this gaming, we talk this culture, man, and we do this thing here. So I appreciate everybody for coming out. Thank y'all once again for representing Di-RRec Gaming. I'm gonna I'm gonna get them out of here. Sick. End the show on where they can find you, catch you at. I know Tech ain't got nothing to say, so we ain't worrying about it.
Hey, what if I do?
Then go ahead.
Now you
go on in.
All right. Well, you can find me everywhere great games are played. You can find me on GLG every Friday, in the Dragon's Den every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, God's time. And yeah, you can check me out on Twitter. Hit me up. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Hey, everybody.
Yo, this is your boy Tech from North Dallas dealing with this pain in the butt new legal. And you can find me at TEKNOBLAST on Twitter and TEKNOBLAST on YouTube. And that's it.
Guys, check it out. Y'all know where to find me at. But the most important place on Xbox Live, y'all see the GAMERTAG down there, the new legal. Catch me. Hit me up. I actually want to record a Gears 5 Horde run because the Locusts are back. Anybody that's good at Gears, hit me up, man. I would love to get in there. We'll get some laughs in. Let's beat it. But like I always say, man, thanks for y'all. Thanks for all the support. Hey, keep it gaming. Chase the one up in life, y'all. And see y'all next time. And until then, be safe. God bless. And thanks for everything, y'all. We're out of here.
Peace.
Woo!